If you've had trouble reading greens,
That's me.
that's you. We're going to show you an old method. Some people have tried to disprove it, but it'll work, and I'll show you how to do it. So this is called plum bobbing. One of our biggest followers, Bev, has requested me to do a plum bobbing video, so we're doing it. And if you're a carpenter or a plumber and you're trying to build a building that's square and level on a slope, you would use a plum. And all it is a weight with a string that gravity makes it hang perpendicular to what would be the horizon. And so putting, we can use the same principle. The first thing you have to establish is which of your eyes are dominant. Are you right eye dominant or left eye dominant? And the way to do that is to hold your hands like this out in front of you and make a little hole here between them. And I can look at a flag on the green with both eyes open. I can see the flag in my hole in my two hands. If I close my left eye, I still see the flag. That means I am right eye dominant. If I do this with both eyes open and I close my right eye, the flag disappears. And you will see that will happen with you too. So the first thing to do is determine, are you right eye dominant or left eye dominant? And then we're here at the Villages at the Sarasota Practice Center. We took some pictures of the driving range yesterday. It's amazing. They got a putting green here, they got a chipping green here, a driving range there, and a golf course takes up off the hill there somewhere. And so we're on a very sloped green. And so what I like to do is I like to really feel with my feet what the slope is. If I use my Tour Read app, or if I was an aim point person, I would know this is a 5 or 6 degree slope. And I'm using a slope this big. This is how you learn to do it. You have to get on a big slope if you don't know what you're doing at first, so you can see it, because the minute slopes are very difficult even for good players. But on this big slope, I try to get my feet and my shoulders to be parallel to the slope here, to where I'm on this side. And then with my putter, I'm going to let it dangle so it's just like the plum that a carpenter uses. And gravity will make this hang 90 degrees to the horizon. And because this slope on the green is not the horizon, when I close my left eye because I'm right eye dominant, I dangle the putter and I let the shaft block out the ball where I can't see the ball. And if I look up from there, then I can see that the flag I'm aiming at, this closest flag in front of me, is, gosh, it looks like it's this far to the left of the ball. And that means the putt breaks right to left. It doesn't necessarily tell you exactly how much it breaks, but at least it'll give you a pretty good idea of which direction. So as I plumb bob here with my feet, and for me, I'm really good at feeling the slope after doing this for 30 years, 40 years. And when I hang it here, it actually shows me that this spot about right here is where I've got to start the ball. It's going to break that much to the left. And so once I get set up here, I can just roll that ball over that spot that it tells me, and you'll see I hit it a little hard, but you can see that that's the correct read, that I end up right behind the hole, and that was the correct read. So we did a right to left putt. This one will be left to right, so I'll show you it's the same thing. It's just the other direction. So we're going to this farthest flag, and if I get behind the ball, I usually just get On a longer putt like this, I usually just get 4 or 5 feet behind the ball. If the putt was a lot closer, like 6 or 8 feet away from the hole, I try to get about 6 or 8 feet behind the ball, about the same distance the ball is from the hole. But once I get more than 8 feet away, I stand pretty close to the ball. So as I stand here, I can see my feet. I'm thinking I hold my plumb bob, so I can see right through here is where my putter hangs. So again, my line's way up there. This is really fast, really left to right, but my plumb bob showed me that. And you can see how much that's going to break left to right. That's a lot of break, but boy, if you have a practice green that has a lot of break, it's a lot easier to learn how to do this. And then as you get much more subtle breaks, you'll be able to see breaks that only break 1 inch or 2 inches or 3 inches. If this was a straight putt, I would be able to line the shaft up with the ball, and the hole would be with the shaft as well. We'll show you an illustration of that. So if it's a straight putt and you learn to match your feet with the slope correctly, when I plumb my putter and let it dangle straight down with gravity, I'm going to close my left eye because I'm right eye dominant, and I'm going to block out the ball with the shaft. And when I look up, I shouldn't even be able to see the hole or the flag stick because the shaft blocks that out as well. So we'll show you what a straight putt looks like. So the way to learn to do it is at first find a big slope where you maybe hit a couple putts, see that it breaks 3 or 4 feet, and then start to plumb bob until you can feel with your feet where you need to be to match up the putter when you plumb bob, that it shows that break. And then do a left to right one. And then find something that maybe only breaks a foot left to right or right to left. And then plumb bob and see what your feet have to feel like on the slope to where you can match up the plumb bob method with what you've already seen the ball do. And then what I've just done with Patrick is I found a straight putt, and I can feel with my feet here that I'm level, so I know this is a straight putt. Aim point would teach you the same thing, is to find the slopes with your feet. And then they hold up fingers based on the degree of slope. But the plumb bob method really works. If there is a double break in the putt, it does not work because it is only telling you what the slope is where your feet are. And so you keep that in mind too for a competitive player especially. That's the only problem with plumb bobbing, is it doesn't tell you if your feet are left to right, but up by the holes right to left, the plumb bob method's not going to be accurate. However, as a really good player, you ought to learn to see that. So if I had a double breaker, say I was coming to this hole and I had a 30 or 40 foot putt, aim point teaches you this too. The putt only starts to break when it slows down. So I hit it so hard on a 30-foot putt that the first 10 or 15 feet are going to go straight no matter how much slope there is, unless it's a lot, 5 or 6, 8 degrees. But when it's going to start to break is up here around the hole. So that's why you see the aim point people standing with their feet closer to the hole than the ball is because they're trying to feel this break when the ball will slow down up here around the hole. So that's a really good way to do it if you think you have a double breaker or a real long putt. I know that's going to break slightly to the left after I stood up there, and so as I hit this putt, you'll see that that ball will just go slightly to the left at the end, and I could feel that when I was 10 feet away from the hole. We've just finished probably the most comprehensive beginner's guide on YouTube. So Patrick will put a link to our beginner's guide with this video. Hope you enjoy it.